Yeah, but if you got back in that mindset of having it, like physically you have it, mentally you're making it harder on yourself to consistently have it because you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself when you go to throw it. Get your grip, find your cue, rip it. That's the beauty of the cutter. That sucked. And that's really good. Now, hey, fastball right here. Cutter. But that's not you being lazy, that's just a missed time. Here, I'm gonna stand here. That's so good. Now, give me 3 in a row. The same thing. Tunnel through the hand and here. So good. Hey, and the reason why I'm like gonna be biased towards you on wanting a cutter opposed to a slider is because the thing that you do better than a lot of people that I've ever watched lefties, glove side fastball command. Now, that's probably your bread and butter, meaning the percentage of times you're gonna go glove side fastball is high. So now it's the same tactic as Kershaw, right? And the reason why I'm biased to the cutter instead of the slider, because the slider is gonna start in a different spot than the heater here, right? And it's gonna be somewhat early. I'm not saying your slider's not good. Good is subjective, right? I think the goal is how do we then add a pitch that is gonna complement your repertoire. Yeah. So if we can somewhat replicate that four-seamer here, yeah, and then like the first 2 you threw me when I stepped to this side, like, bro, that's gonna be stupid. Because that's fastball very, very long and then late.
So like yesterday I had Gian set up in the righty box, and again I almost like knocked his teeth out because it was just straight.
And it could just be like blame it on the ball. Sometimes the ball is slippery, it doesn't catch in the wind.
You're the type of guy who says no excuses. That's an excuse.
But I'm giving you a mental pass to like,
yeah, here we go.
Because your physical being right now is locked in. Your physical being is like, dude, we have a nasty cutter, and your mind is like, ah, it's not moving.
I mean, it wasn't moving.
Bro, it's a missed pitch. Just throw another one, make it better. Throw another one. Here's why I think sometimes it doesn't move for you. I could be wrong, I'll speak from experience. So you throw one, okay? Maybe your timing's off, your finger's off, or whatever, and it doesn't move. Your response to a single pitch error is to physically try harder, yeah, which is then, for me, physically trying harder is a change or a tiny fluctuation of tempo, which change, like think about how this is so precise in which we release the ball and where our fingers are in which we do that. Now, if you try to do more, right, when your one cutter doesn't move, yeah, then that's gonna result into another different tempo, another different timing. Then you try to do more again, which is gonna result into another one. And then now your fingers don't know how to then gain consistency and how to replicate the good one because you're given so much different input. Now again, that could be wrong, but it's just another nugget to like think, okay, instead of freaking out when like you throw a bad one, and trust me, I do this all the time too, especially with my changeup, it sucks, but like, don't change anything physically, just see if you can just throw another one, just throw it, get another rep in, okay, and then it's good, and then you're like, all right, sick.
So are you basically saying just wash the slider?
You don't have to wash it. It's just, like I said, it's going to be really hard for you to have two.
I bet you I throw back to back with money right now.
Sliders?
Slider and cutter. I'm telling you, I bet you.
But see, like there's no need for it.
Yeah, but just to show I could do both in a sense.
But here's my thing: is I'm not saying you can't do both.
No, but you're saying like in a sense.
I'm just saying if you threw the cutter, right? So like say we're going over your arsenal, and your cutter is the cutter that you threw the first two when I went here, or even just that last one, I'm taking that 10 times out of 10 because your slider to me isn't gonna play as much in the grand scheme of things. Okay. Now, in a perfect world, like I said yesterday, if you can throw the cutter and have that one good, and then just think like, all right, I'm gonna move my thumb under or I'm gonna get deeper and that increases the break, How different is the cutter grip for you than the slider grip? So let's do this. Let's go 4-seam glove side, cutter glove side, and then just get a little bit bigger of a cutter. And then we'll rinse and repeat. 4-seam. You can signal slider. I mean, I know it's coming. All right, so this is another reason. I know that was 1 rep. The reason why I don't love it is because it's like you're under it pretty bad.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying under it is always bad, because sometimes under it,
All my pitches, I'm really never under the
but you're never really under it. And that's why I like your cutter, because it's like, it's so much similar to your fastball, you know, and you're just ripping through the outside part of the baseball. But that's the simplistic goal, right? Like the grip's gonna do everything, right? But you need to have some sense of comfort trusting that the grip is gonna do what you want it to do. Because sometimes it's like, you know, that's why I have trust issues, because sometimes it doesn't do that. And you're like, well, how am I supposed to trust it when it doesn't do it? I think it's increasing of the repetitions. Not just repetitions in general, but the good repetitions. So go fastball, cutter. That's so good. I'm gonna do an overlay of that and you're gonna be like, wow, I'm in the show. Now throw 5 straight cutters in a row. It's a fine line of understanding like what depth, like what tier, level, whatever, does it have the ability to catch and get depth, and what does it like not have the ability to catch. Like that one, it started like here and it didn't catch, it just kind of went, you know? Whereas the ones that start like a level below that, they'll catch, right, and go here, because the finger difference is here to there, right? So why do you think every time I give you a hand and a glove, why do you think you do better? Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Could be a distraction.
Yeah. Don't put the hand up. I got you. Last one.
But it goes back to what I said about increasing the repetitions that are optimal.
Yeah.
Now, if it takes this to have optimal repetitions, check the ego at the door.
Yeah. No,
You know?
definitely.
But like, all right, you're getting stubborn, boom, let's do it.
I'm okay with this.
Do it.
I even do that with my curveball sometimes.
Yeah, I like it because I do better with more input,
Yeah.
right? Like that's kind of just how I'm wired too. So if there's more to look at, like my pitch will be better,
Yeah.
which doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of
Yeah.
things. But dude, like you have it, right? Like that's what I was saying earlier. I like physically, I think like there, it's just like, all right, can I trust it mentally?
Me being soft.
Yeah, and you actually like, no, I was really impressed. You threw, I think 2, maybe 3 in a row that you got under, and it was like the poopy one right here.
Yeah.
And you were just, and I didn't say anything. I just wanted to see how you react.
Yeah.
And then I gave you a hand, and then it was boom. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's honestly the difference between the dudes here and the dudes freaking on TV, because they have the ability to just like, who cares, forget it.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes we care too much, and that
that's-
invokes us to try harder,
That's for sure.
and it sucks. But good stuff.